Which F1 season saw drivers facing the shittiest luck? Well, these seasons weren't just about tragic accidents, but also when drivers in underrated cars didn't get the points they deserved. Let's dive in and see for ourselves how luck played a major role in these championship outcomes. First on the list we have, in the 1954 F1 season, Alberto Ascari, a dominant force in previous years, faced a chaotic journey. After leaving Ferrari, his races with Maserati and Lancia were filled with challenges. Despite showing his skill by contending with legends like Fangio and Moss, retirements and car failures plagued his performances. Ascari's return to Ferrari in Monza was promising at first, but ended in disappointment due to some terrible clutch failure at the last moment. Even though he showcased speed and potential with 1.14 points for 1 1/7 fastest lap, his season did not do justice to his abilities. But what comes next can't top the bad luck Alberto faced. In 1958, Sterling Moss had a remarkable season that could have led him to a championship victory. Despite securing 4 wins and consistent top 3 finishes, his luck took a turn for the worse, with multiple retirements while leading in prestigious races like Monaco, Spa-Francorchamps, the Nürburgring, and Monza due to engine problems and transmission failures. If not for these setbacks, Moss could have potentially won 8 out of 10 races and clinched the title dominantly. Unfortunately, his championship dreams were dashed as he narrowly lost out to Hawthorne by just a single point. It was a season filled with both triumphs and heartbreak for Moss. Well, not as heartbreaking as what Tony Brooks went through in the 1959 season. Tony Brooks, who had emerged from Sterling Moss's shadow at Van Wall to lead Ferrari, had a golden opportunity to become the final front-engined world champion. However, luck was not on his side that season. Brooks faced challenges as Ferrari missed the entry race. The Spa was cancelled, a track that favored Ferrari, and he had to retire in Monza, another favorable track for Ferrari. In Monza, despite his objections, a last-minute clutch change led to failure during the race. To add to his misfortune, he was struck by his teammate in the season finale at Sebring, forcing him to pit. Brooks, known for his high standards, vowed never to drive a damaged car. Despite these setbacks, he finished just 4 points behind Brabham in the championship. When it comes to the title of the unluckiest driver, one name stands out: the greatest racer never to clinch a win. Legend has it that if he pursued a career as an undertaker, people would stop passing away. His luck and misfortune intertwined in the 1968 season with Ferrari. Amon dazzled by securing pole position in Jarama, leading comfortably before being struck by mechanical malfunctions. The same ill fate befell him in St. Jovita with a mere 5th of the race left. Another heartbreak awaited in Spa as he retired while fighting for victory after a dominant pole position. Despite these setbacks, Amon finished the season in 10th place in the championship standings. But you need to settle for this next one, as it is one of the most unfortunate losses in the history of F1. It was a moment that shook the world to its core. During the race at Monza in 1978, a chain reaction led to a multi-car pileup involving Peterson's Lotus, Patrice's Arrows, and Hunt's McLaren. The collision caused Ronnie Peterson's car to crash into the barriers and catch fire, trapping him inside. It was a heart-wrenching sight for everyone watching. However, Peterson's involvement in the accident was indeed unexpected, considering his and Andretti's exceptional performance in the 1978 season with the groundbreaking Lotus 79s. The duo's recent wins at Zandvoort showcased their dominance. At Monza, Andretti secured pole position in the Lotus 79, while Peterson, facing mechanical issues, qualified 5th in the older Lotus 78. Opting for the Lotus 78 put Peterson in a risky position amidst the competitive pack. It was an unstable situation for him during the race. James Hunt rushed to help Peterson out of the burning wreckage, showing incredible bravery amidst the chaos of the accident. Despite the efforts to save him, Peterson suffered severe leg injuries in the crash. Tragically, he succumbed to complications from those injuries a day after the race. The accidents not only took away a talented driver, but also prompted the reevaluation of safety measures in Formula One. It was a pivotal moment that highlighted the risks involved in the sport and the need for continuous improvements in driver protection and track safety. The legacy of Ronnie Peterson lives on in the memories of fans and the lessons learned from that fateful day at Monza in 1978. Next on the list, we have Jackie Stewart. In 1970, despite leading the most laps and securing 4 pole positions, he finished 6th in the championship. His performance was outstanding, especially in Jarama, where he excelled, but unfortunately retired from the lead in Monaco. Moving to Tyrrell, Stewart faced challenges, retiring in St. Jovita in his first race with the team. He then showcased dominance in Watkins Glen before an oil leak hindered his progress. Despite not having the best car, Stewart should have been a strong contender in the championship battle based on his skill and performance throughout the season. Luck does play a crucial role in F1, because what happened with our next driver, John Watson, is a clear illustration of that. In 1977, after Carlos Pace's tragic passing, John Watson took the reins as the lead driver at Brabham, despite finishing the season with a disappointing 9 points, landing him in 13th place in the championship. Watson's true potential shone throughout the year. He commanded much of the race in Buenos Aires until a gearbox failure dashed his hopes. Monaco saw a similar fate after a dominant pole position. The heartbreak continued in Dijon, where Watson led almost the entire race, only to run out of fuel on the final lap, allowing Andretti to snatch victory. Silverstone witnessed Watson leading half the race ahead of Hunt before being plagued by fuel issues. While James Hunt's season had its share of challenges, it paled in comparison to Watson's streak of misfortune. Next up, we have Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen's 2005 season is legendary for the fierce battle between his lightning-fast McLaren and the consistent performance of Alonso and Renault. Ultimately, Alonso emerged victorious due to Räikkönen's misfortunes, like retiring as the suspension failed on the final lap at the Nürburgring and facing hydraulics failure, while leading comfortably in Hockenheim. To add to that, engine penalties further hindered Räikkönen's campaign. Despite these setbacks, many believed that the McLaren was potentially quicker than the Renault that year. The debate rages on whether Räikkönen truly outpaced Alonso on the track. Bad luck can strike even to the absolute legend. And with that being said, in 2007, Lewis Hamilton experienced a heartbreaking loss in the F1 World Championship. It was his rookie season in F1, and he was in contention for the title until the final race in Brazil. Unfortunately, during that race, Hamilton faced adversity with a gearbox issue that caused him to lose positions and ultimately the championship. Kimi Räikkönen from Ferrari seized the opportunity and clinched the title by just 1 point, leaving Hamilton to reflect on what could have been a historic debut championship victory. Lewis Hamilton says losing the 2007 world title through a driver error at the Chinese GP still haunts him to this day. But for the next one, the conspiracy is still ongoing and nobody knows if it was unfortunate luck or staged loss. But this incident sure holds a great value in the history of F1. In the 2008 F1 season, Felipe Massa narrowly missed out on the championship to Lewis Hamilton by just 1 point in a dramatic finale in Brazil. So allegedly what happened was that during the Marina Bay race, Nelson Piquet Jr. intentionally crashed his Renault because he fell under pressure. This crash triggered the safety car, benefiting Fernando Alonso, who strategically moved into the lead with impeccable pit stop timing and ultimately claimed victory. Massa's championship hopes were dashed when he entered the pits because of the safety car and faced a setback when he mistakenly drove off with the fuel hose still connected. This was a devastating blow to his championship hopes. Despite being in the lead, Massa ended up falling short in the World Championship race against Lewis Hamilton, who secured his first title. The aftermath of the season was that Massa took legal action against the FIA and former F1 chief Bernie Ecclestone. Reports suggest he is pursuing £62 million in compensation to account for the salary gap and missed sponsorship and commercial prospects he would have enjoyed as a world champion. But what happened with Mika Hakkinen in the 2001 season truly showcases the worst luck any F1 driver has ever gone through. Despite being a two-time world champion, Hakkinen faced a challenging season with McLaren Mercedes. In the 2001 Spanish Grand Prix, Hakkinen suffered a heartbreaking retirement due to a clutch failure that later turned out to be the cause of incorrectly assembled components in the gearbox at the final lap while leading the race. It destroyed his hopes of a strong finish. This incident was one of several setbacks that plagued Hakkinen's season, highlighting the unpredictable nature of F1 racing. A fan wrote, "It's never easy seeing your favorite driver struggle to finish a race, let alone start it. It's even hard watching Mika Hakkinen fight bad luck and terrible reliability after being the center of everyone's attention for 3 years in a row." But what happened in the 2012 Belgian Grand Prix will blow your mind. Romain Grosjean caused a major crash at the start of the race by colliding with Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. This incident led to a chain reaction that resulted in several cars being taken out of the race. Grosjean's aggressive move at the first corner caused chaos and raised concerns about his racing behavior. As a result of the crash, Grosjean was handed a one-race ban for the following Grand Prix in Italy. The reaction from the other drivers after the 2012 Belgian Grand Prix crash was one of frustration and concern. Many drivers expressed their disappointment with Grosjean's aggressive and reckless driving, which led to the dangerous incident at the start of the race. The crash not only affected the drivers directly involved, but also impacted the overall safety of the race. Grosjean's actions prompted calls for stricter penalties for dangerous driving in Formula 1 to ensure the safety of all competitors on the track. Next up, we have the sensational Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc's 2022 season was indeed an up-and-down experience. Starting strong with 2 wins in the first 3 races, he seemed poised for a championship battle. However, his season took a nosedive, mainly due to a series of engine failures and strategic missteps by Ferrari. The mishaps didn't stop there. Leclerc also had a crash at Paul Ricard and retired from leading positions in Spain and Baku due to engine failures. He faced numerous engine penalties throughout the season. On top of that, strategic errors cost him potential victories in Monaco and Silverstone, as well as better results in Hungary and Interlagos. If not for these setbacks, he could have challenged Verstappen for the championship crown. Leclerc's season was a mix of highs and lows, with the promise of success often dashed by unforeseen hurdles. Now it's time for the most tragic evidence of pure bad luck that cost a life. Jules Bianchi tragically passed away as a result of injuries sustained in a horrific crash during the 2014 Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka. The race took place under challenging wet conditions, and Bianchi's Marussia car skidded off the track and collided with a recovery vehicle that was attending to another car that had crashed earlier. The impact caused severe head injuries to Bianchi, leading to a coma from which he never recovered. After fighting for his life for 9 months, Jules Bianchi sadly succumbed to his injuries on July 17, 2015. His untimely death was a somber reminder in the world of Formula 1, and his memory continues to be honored by fans and the racing community alike. Whether it's engine failures, strategic blunders, or tragic accidents, the element of luck plays a significant role in shaping the outcome on the track.